Come on, man. Y'all gotta know, man. Biology and chemistry is effective when it comes down to the origination of so-called black people. Now, look, how long are we gonna keep riding with these description terms that the colonizer brought into America? All right. Now, I'm gonna say it like this: we're the original people on this planet, but what I don't agree with, and you're gonna have to definitely prove to me that this is real, that black people with quote unquote nappy hair originated in America before anywhere. I also don't believe that in nature people just started sprouting up everywhere, right? Come on, man. We gotta see past the myths, right? And so I'm about correct information, man. And some of y'all trying to bend history, uh, bend your point of views just to, make your point and things of that nature. Let's go into some information. And then, man, leave a comment. Leave a comment, right? And so maybe many people don't know. We talk about you melanin. No, melanin, right? Melanin. Why are we using black? Why are we using dark skin in these terms, man? Right? So let's go in. Okay. And first of all, before I'm anything when it comes down to these continents, I'm American, right? When I say I have African ancestry, I'm not saying that I'm African. All right, y'all need to stop getting that twisted. Being African and having African ancestry is two different things, right? It's two different things. You're American because you're born on the continent of America, right? You're born on the continent of America. Saying that you're African American is not saying that you're African. It's saying you have African ancestry, right? It's just like saying I'm Scottish American, right? Or I'm British American, right? Or I'm Chinese American. What does that say? I was born in America or got citizenship in America. My ancestry is from that place. Okay. America is not Africa. We can understand that. The way we do things in America, they may not do things like that in Africa or where other so-called black people are at. Do you understand what I'm saying? But let's go into this science lesson. Okay. So I asked the mind of artificial intelligence, did a eumelanin originate in America? Right. I had a conversation because this is crazy. That people believe that America is the old world, that people were populated in America first. All right. So I had not even a debate, just going back and forth. I wouldn't consider a debate. A lot of people can't debate me when it comes down to this because they don't know this. You start studying what I'm giving you right here, and then all that make believe shit is gonna go out the window, right? And so the kid that I was having the discussion with, right, goes by the name of Taharka. He got an Egyptian name, but he said everybody comes from America and then they migrated out. So I'm like, that's not possible because of the tropic zones, right? And so, are black people tropical people or are they winter people? Tropical people, do they originate from non-tropical areas? If you say yeah, prove that. Okay. And so I keep telling people about what I consider the sun zone. It's not written anywhere like this. I consider it the sun zone, right? The tropics, okay? The tropics of Capricorn and the tropics of Cancer. Before I go into this, let's check that out. All right, you see this little diagram right here, right? So you have the Tropic of Cancer at the top, the equator, the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay. Now you got to understand our planet is not straight up and down. Like the poles are not like this, north and south. The poles are actually like this. Okay. I think that's 23.5 degrees, right? Not like this. It's spinning like this. All right. So it's spinning not like this, right? Like a top, when you spin it and it starts to lose momentum, it starts to wobble. That's how our earth is spinning, right? But it's spinning like this. All right. So if you can see in the shade, right? North America. When North America gets into the sun, where is North America going to be? It's going to be at the top of the planet. Now, people are even starting to say that our planet is flat. All right. I don't agree with that at all. Thinking our planet is flat like a tire if you put it sideways. I don't believe that. I don't care how much testimony, right, people give. I don't believe that. Okay. Because the reason why I don't believe that, because people say that the earth is flat, but they're not saying that it's spinning. Okay? It's spinning. Everything is spinning, right? So now, if you look in the light to the right of South America, of course, we're looking at the tip of West Africa. All of Africa is getting sun. Okay. Eumelanin is triggered by sun rays. All right. So if you look at North America, now if people were saying, because South America, right, the majority of South America would be in the sun zone. If you said we came from South America and then migrated into North America, right, that's believable. But that's not what people are saying. People are saying that they originated in North America, right? That makes no sense to me, because when North America hits that sun, the only part that's going to hit the sun, right, is the part that's within, under the Tropic of Cancer, that line, right? That's what's, the rest of that shit is in cold climate. All right. Some people saying the Garden of Eden is in America, is in Georgia. If you're going to say that, then say how black people wasn't always here, that we originated. How we originated here. Who, what, when, why, and how when it comes down to nature, when it comes down to the sun. Why is the little tail of North America, why would you think that little small area right there is more prominent and greater than the whole sunshine that would hit all of Africa? Okay? You got to prove that, man. If y'all are really scholastic, like they be like, let me get primary references. Nigga, you yourself are a primary reference. You yourself is a primary reference. Your mind, our mind works with universal energies. Our mind works with the great mind. You understand what I'm saying? And so some things you can come with, some truths you can come with, and you ain't never study it. But when you go study it and you look for confirmations, it's right there. Okay? Because we're connected to the source. right? And some of y'all, to me, that's talking all this, oh man, we originated in America, and then we went to Africa, we went to the islands, we went to the West Indies, we went to India, we went to Australia, we went all through Africa, and then we populated those places. You're not connected to the source. Know what you're trying to do. But let's get back to what I was talking about. Now, you melanin, right? Okay, you melanin. All them rays right there. You see that? Sun rays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 lines showing the sun rays. North America probably gonna get 4 of them lines. You understand what I'm saying? So let's go back. Now look, for people who believe that original humans came from Africa, why y'all think they tripping? Okay. The fucking computer is going to tell you that people come from Africa, right? And so y'all going to different authors with their perspectives and things of that nature. But you following the perspective of the white man. To the white man, if he ain't white, he a Negro. Okay? So it's 2 types of Negroes, if you will. Right? It's 2 types of Negroes, if you will. Those with sun hair, okay, aka what they call afros or natural hair or sun hair that grows up towards the atmosphere, and what we call moon hair, hair that grows straight down in length. Okay. I don't want to hear that black men got sun natural hair, but our women got straight hair. I don't want to hear that shit, man. Y'all tripping, okay? Black women are a counterpart to black men. Black men are a counterpart to black women, and so they should look the same. Even though there's variations in different degrees of us, right? The originals would look the same and have the same hair. All right. Did melanin, at first I put you melanin, you probably seen that, but now it's just melanin. And so the basic version of melanin, right? No, melanin did not originate in America. Oh, well, we built the pyramids and we the mound builders and all. Yeah, we are. I'm not saying we're not some of the original people in America. I'm saying we did not originate from America. Okay. We did not originate in America. All right. And so it's okay to look up the definitions of these terms. And you look up the definition of origin, right? And it'll tell you it's talking about ancestry. All right. It's talking about lineage. Okay. But rather in Africa where humans first evolved. I didn't put this information in there. The people my age didn't put this information in there, right? The pseudoscientists put this information in here. White people put this information in here, and people who built upon it. White people are not just saying this. Hindus are saying it. Okay? People who are scientific and living in the Western world, no matter what race they are in, are saying it. The genetic variations for melanin production and skin color evolved over time in different human populations as they migrated out of Africa and adapted to different environments, including the Americas. Evolution of melanin and skin color. Humans originally had dark skin which was advantageous for protecting against strong UV radiation near the equator. Melanin production in African populations is the baseline from which other populations evolve. The baseline. Okay, so let's check this out. Now let's check this haplogroup map out, right? Now, this may not be accurate, but are you skilled in understanding haplogroups? Okay. Now, the only place when it comes down to males, okay, if you understand the Y chromosome, YAP DNA, all right, is in Africa. Now, according to my research, where humans originated where the Bantus are, down in the bottom is almost South Africa, Uganda, and things of that nature. But look at these lines. You got some migrations out of Africa, then you got some migrations back into Africa, right? Like this Niger Congo, this line is drawn from Yemen, Iraq. You see how they, so we don't know, it's not giving you times. You understand what I'm saying? If you look at the lines up here in the Berber, Egyptian, Cushitic, okay, there's people that are coming back into Africa that are affecting the genetics, okay? So the people that we are seeing today, especially in some of these areas where we know that they were pro-black, what I mean is dominant eumelanin, some Western Asianers, where they would say Middle East, right, have come back into Africa. Now, remember I was talking about the sun zone, okay? So, that's the equator. This might, the equator right here, that might be the tropic of Cancer right there, right? Okay, so let's see. I don't know. All right, so India, okay, Iraq would be under the Tropic of Cancer. So to me, these would be dark-skinned people. Anything outside of the Tropic of Cancer are not dark-skinned people, or they were dark-skinned people and began to mutate because of the environment. Okay. Also, when you think of the migrations, the foods are changing. Okay. People are moving and migrating because people didn't just up and leave. All right. Africa, the Sahara Desert. It used to be a savanna, right? Before it was a desert, it was a savanna. Okay, so imagine that whole area right there where the Sahara Desert is. It used to be plenty of food, animals, water, fruits growing on the trees, things of that nature, and then that shit changed into a desert. What are you going to do? You're going to leave. Right? You're going to leave. Now, there's some shit that naturally occurred on the planet, right? But melanin was already there. Okay, so we're tracking, right? So let's go all the way to America. So that's why the haplogroups are changing, because people are becoming less dark and having less, the sun hair is changing, I should say, right? But anybody within the zone is dark skinned. Dark skin with straight hair. When we get to America. Now look. Now you got an R1B up in here, right? Let's go back and look at that R1B. You see that right there? Because I think we seen that. R1B. Okay, we got an R1A and an R1A in India, right? But we're looking for R1B. Okay, R1B, Chadic. You see that? But this came in, I can't see what that is. It's too small. But R1B, it looks like it's somewhere in Turkey, right? Israel. You see where it says Slavic right there? Okay, you got R1B. R1B came back into Africa, became Chadic, mixed in with the original Chads. We got R1B up here in the European area. See, this is shit that needs to be studied. All right. I'm just checking the map. You got R1B up here and damn near, what is that? Uh, England. You got R1B up here. So these mutated people, right? These are the mutated people. If you up there, you're a moon person. Okay. You don't have sun hair. And uh, dark skin, you melanin skin was lost over time until you became extracted. Extracted from these people though. This is why I think that black people with sun hair didn't come from the hominids. Because of the straight hair on their bodies. But I think all the rest, anybody with straight hair on their head came from monkey people. Now, I've seen information where they said because of the loss of hair, right? But what is the climate of Africa for them to have straight hair all over the body? And the climate, right? So did the climate get hotter? So you lost hair, the hominids lost hair, and then they grew Afro hair on their head. I don't believe that, right? That you had hair all over your body, straight hairs all on your head and all of that. You know, like what's that fool? That little monkey dude from the land of the lost with the sleeve stacks. If y'all people my age, they probably know. People younger than that, you probably don't know about that. You can go look up the land of the lost back in the day. They had a little monkey, a little hominid boy that they was taking care of, right? And so I haven't found any information where the climate changed to the point or even got hotter to the point where the hair on the hominid was lost. They turned dark skin, or Khoisan are not really dark skin. They were like light skin. You see the Chinese people in the Khoisan too. But they had sun hair, right? Nappy hair. So you get to America, right? So how's you melanin started over here? Okay. How do you melanin start over here? Even if you don't agree with the Beringia straight theory, if you don't agree with that, all right, then why this area? Why do we start here? Why does it make some sense to some people that we started here and we didn't start here? Okay. They also say when it comes down to inaccurate maps, you've heard it before, that Africa is so big it fits almost all the continents in it. That's possible, right? So we can claim American, but we don't have to root out the African ancestry. Okay. If your people been here since the colonizer been here, you know, around the same times or what have you, they're not more American than we are. So why y'all not worried about the white people? Okay. They not from, we know definitely they not from here. So why do we have to concern ourselves with whether we're the original people in America or not? right? When we know the colonizer is not from here. You feel me? But we talking about science. Okay. So let's go back. Is America a tropical climate? No, it's not. Okay. It has Arctic temperatures, arid temperatures. The majority of the continent is not tropical. It cannot produce eumelanin. Okay. South America is more tropical, and the South in America is more tropical, but the whole continent itself is not tropical. All right. And so let's see this. Now, if I was debating, this is where you would get the body bag. Is Africa a tropical continent? Yes. Africa is considered a tropical continent because it lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, with the equator running through its center. Okay. This geographical position means the most of Africa experiences warm tropical temperatures year round, and Africa gets 80% of the sun. Okay. There it is. Dominant tropical location. Over 80% of the continent is when the tropic is giving it a large tropical footprints. And so for anybody saying, oh, we don't have no African ancestry, that's dumb, because you don't even know why humans were created on the planet. Okay? This is science. Why were we even created on the planet? How were we created on the planet? How were we birthed through the soils of this planet? How were you birthed through the soils of America? Make it make sense. Because for those that know, man, this is the argument that we don't really need to be having. Okay? The disrespect of it all, okay, especially with the younger generation. In no time did our ancestors, okay, when I say ancestors, I'm not talking about the 1700s. I'm not talking about the 1800s, the early 1900s. Okay, for some of y'all, your ancestor is from the 1960s. That's like 3 generations, 4 generations, 2 generations, 3 generations back. Nah, maybe two or three, if you was born like 2000, 1995, whatever. Dig that. There was no time where black people in America, outside of being African American, said, hey, this is what we making this move for, because really y'all been playing us all this time, and we found out that we Indians. Okay. I would prefer the term Native American. Okay, because when you say Indian, right? Like if I say African, what am I connecting myself to? The continent of Africa, right? These niggas is trying to say when you say Indian, that's original American. Man, stop playing. When you say India, what's the first thing that's gonna pop up in your mind? Is India, nigga. If I say Jesus Christ, although some of us say based on the Bible, y'all get in the description of Jesus Christ or Yahshua HaMashiach twisted. He had dark skin, okay? Whether he had sun hairs up for debate, but he had dark skin. But if I say Jesus Christ, you know you're going to, in your mind, you're going to have that white hippie looking dude in your mind on the cross, on the crucifixion, right? And so if you can't really explain how we got here on this planet, like if you start saying and you start going into mythology, like I'm saying, this is outside of the Bible. What I'm talking about. All right, the Bible came later. The Quran came later. The Torah, the Tanakh came later. Okay, these books written by men came later. I'm trying to explain the origins of why we're here in the first place. How did that start? okay, and prove that that started in America, then you might come to realize that the truth of the matter is you got African ancestry, homie. Grand Kush, I'm out. Y'all hold it down straight. Great. Peace.